Hello and welcome to CineQuest video. Today we're going to be talking about the highly anticipated horror film of the year, Terrifier 3. That just fucking moved. I thought it moved.
Did it?
I don't know.
You can.
So Bryce, Terrifier 3.
Yep.
It's here.
Yep.
Finally.
Yeah.
How long have we been waiting? It's about 2 years for this?
Yeah. Seems like yeah.
Bryce, let's
Happy Terrifier Day.
Happy Terrifier Day.
Yeah.
We did see it the 9th.
Yeah.
Right, officially comes out today on the 10th,
Mm-hmm.
which is the day that we are recording. But like I said, we saw it the night before. Stayed a little late, getting our recording in, get our thoughts together, because we really want to dive a little bit deeper into this one. And let's go back. Way back when, Bryce, I saw a movie called Hallows Eve back in 2015.
Yeah.
And in this movie, there was a clown. I wasn't aware of his name until like the end or whatever, Art, whatever the fuck. I was fascinated. One of the only quality movies I saw on Screenbox at the time.
Oh, interesting.
Because Screenbox at the time had a terrible interface.
Yeah. Well.
Really bad interface. And had some of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I never thought this particular streaming platform would ever get off, right? But now look at it now. Like it's helping produce and distribute these Terrifier movies after how many years? I thought it was going to be down in the dumps.
Nah.
Then we moved on to Terrifier.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see, when did you see All Hallows Eve for the first time? Was it recent?
Yeah, it was recent for me. I would say like maybe a couple of years ago. I think I saw it before. I finally watched it before Terrifier 2 because I had never seen it. I saw Terrifier 2, but I think before I went and saw Terrifier 2, I think I saw All Hallows Eve. I had probably seen it before. I wasn't really sure about the quality of it because I always find like those kind of movies, like you're kind of gonna gamble with them sometimes. You know what I mean?
Sure,
like,
sure. It's an anthology movie.
Yeah, well, some anthologies are good, but I don't know. Like, anyways, yeah,
it does have like a color hinge to it, like tinge to like like it's on the lower budget side, and the one thing I will say about it, even though like it is questionable, you see those kinds of movies, you're like, this is not gonna be good. The effects were great.
Yeah. Oh, you know what it was? I think it was because when was that clown craze thing where people were like seeing the ghost clowns?
The ones like on the side of the road and stuff.
See, I think it was like I saw the clown and I was just like, man, fuck that, because I was like, I don't find clowns scary, and I always hate when they try to like they cheese the whole clown thing because it's like, everyone's scared of clowns. I just saw, I was like, man, fuck this, dude. So I never really gave it a second thought, and then like later on I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that necessarily it's the clown aspect. It's just that the way he looks in particular.
Yeah, of course, but
because the clowns themselves, personally speaking, I mean, I have a history of like seeing movies where clowns are scary.
Yeah.
And that starts with It, right? The Tim Curry It from whenever that TV movie miniseries was. And then I saw Clown House.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw that.
Which is about a bunch of people that escape a psych ward and then like terrorize some kids. The director, it was from the director of Jeepers Creepers, who is very problematic.
Ooh. Oh, I remember. Yeah. Okay, I know what movie you're talking about. I never saw it though. But I know the story.
Looking back, I mean, I have the movie, right? And looking back on it, there was always like scenes in there that I always found weird. And even like watching it as an adult again, I was just like,
wow.
Like then you hear about the director and you're kind of like, oh, that, like I can see it. Right?
Yeah.
Anyways, and there's like Stitches, and then there's like the movie Clown from Eli Roth. Yeah. It's another one, and there's another like few other movies I feel like kind of like
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Killer Clowns, but that's like fun, scary clown. That's not.
If you're young enough, it could be scary.
Yeah, but I mean, like, who doesn't want a fucking candy
candy gun.
Candy gun. Yeah, who doesn't want that? Yeah. But anyways, let me go back to that. Yeah, it was it, and then probably Killer Clowns. That's when I saw it, and then all these other films and whatnot. But I felt the clown thing had played itself out, right? Then we see All Hallows Eve, right? Which, if I'm incorrect, please correct me in the comments, or in any way you feel the need to. Originally was The Ninth Circle in 2008. And then another short, Terrifier, 2011, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then those were combined into this anthology film with All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
Which kind of threw in a little alien aspect.
Yeah,
which
is
seemed
fine, like it was tacked on, but I'll be honest with that, I like the alien one.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You know it's an aliens. That's our thing.
Yeah.
And then we get Terrifier. Kind of like a movie that just kind of fell into, like, I think it was Netflix.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was like, oh, I recognize that clown person.
Yeah.
He has a movie now, right? Watched it. I was like, oh, it's just a clown that kills. Yeah. And you know what? The story is very, if any, clown follows some girls. He kills people, and that's it.
Yep.
That's the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets very graphic.
Yeah.
I enjoyed a lot of the effects. I thought they were great. The story is whatever, it's a pretty basic premise, and I enjoyed it. I know one of our other past podcast contributors, Daniel, he watched it, hated it.
Yeah.
That's not a movie for him, because there's no real story. It's just a clown, because he's like, that's stupid, and I understand that. I like it. Yeah. All right. I personally like it. I like gore. I'm a fan of the Hatchet movies, which is also just a lot of killing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And very, what is the word I'm looking for? Just like exaggerated, very over the top kills. Yeah. And I like that. They used to coin the term whenever the Hatchet trailers would play, like American slasher. Yeah. Like, so it's more American. American is just very bloated kills and stuff like that. When did you see Terrifier?
What would be the European slashers? Is there like a?
I feel that's more like
Giallo, like that kind of stuff.
I don't know, but I think they can go all out too. But like they have a certain, the way they kill, or the way the kills are on screen, they're very different. I feel like they're a lot slower, and they're trying to like just, I don't know, like they have a way of doing it.
Yeah.
I feel like the American way of doing it is a lot of like over the top, just like like a lot of fast kills, like rip them off, throw this body part at them, But like I feel like I don't know. Oh. I'm not an expert in the slasher genre. Yeah, I just like what I like in this case.
Well, so Terrifier, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't remember when I first saw it, but I would say it's probably leading up to Terrifier 2, because I wanted to get I had never seen them before, and I wanted to get All Hallows Eve and Terrifier out of the way, so I watched them. So I guess you watched Terrifier 2. So that's probably when prior like Terrifier 2, that year Terrifier 2 was coming out. That's probably when I saw them.
Coming up to Terrifier 2.
Yeah.
I found out we happened to be working, and I found out there's going to be a showing in Harlingen,
which is wild at the time.
And it was a one weekend thing, right?
It was one weekend or one day.
It was one weekend. Oh. They were going to be in theaters one weekend, right? And I knew I wasn't going to be able to see it any other day except for this particular day. Yeah. And we made the trip after we drove over there, hauled ass, got our tickets, and sat there and watched a very pleasant almost 2 hour plus long gore fest. Yeah. That's what it was. And I couldn't have been happier. Right. And I was just happy I got to see this on the big screen.
Yeah, it was wild. Once, They got, especially down here. It was like, and Harlingen of all places too. That's wild, man. Yeah. And we were kind of satisfied that we felt a little elitist, I would say. We were like, yeah, we got to see the movie. Like, who else is going to see this, right? Whatever. And then for some reason, word of mouth took over. And then one weekend turned into 2, turned into 3, turned into 4, and then we're just like, what is going on? This is not the kind of movie that should have been like have this kind of widespread appeal. Yeah. And dare I say that it could have been social media that had a lot to do with it, because as we've seen prior to Terrifier 2, certain movies that get reviewed on TikTok or get like these real headliney type of scariest movie of all time kind of thing, I don't think Terrifier 2 ever got that. It could have been goriest movie of all time, and it's arguable. But we throw it out there. Skinamarink was one of those. One that I was that I knew wasn't going to get wide appeal. That's way too abstract. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, when I was in the theater to see that, it was almost packed house, which is bizarre.
Right, but like, how quickly did it drop off? Because that ain't something that can appeal to most people.
There was a lot of people walking out of the theater too when I was there. It's funny.
That kind of movie doesn't appeal to most.
Yeah, but they got your money, they got your ticket.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing about Terrifier 2 is that like people went back to watch that, and people were like, again, word of mouth, and people were just like, whoa, they go in there, and I'm pretty sure people were fainting and all this other nonsense, whatever. And
yeah, that's what I had heard of. Yeah, people were fainting in the audience and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like there's always this type of movie that kind of stuff is gonna happen. But I was just pleasantly surprised with this movie, and then of course they tried to create a lore in Terrifier 2 with Lauren Lavera. A great final girl, and then she had like, I mean, it kind of like expands on her, like almost like a relationship she has with Art the Clown in a very supernatural kind of way, but it left a lot of questions. We didn't have a lot of supernatural stuff happens in the movie, and we're kind of just like left with questions. What is going on? How is she able to regenerate? All this other kind of stuff, and then of course we had to wait.
It's just like
for Terrifier 3 to
angel type thing. Almost,
yeah.
In a way, like
it was like, how did this happen?
It kind of reminds me, man, honestly, of Spawn a little bit, like the comic, because like they had like the angels that would like come after the devil or like come after the Spawn characters, and it just like reminds me of like there's this evil, like I wouldn't call Art an anti-hero. He's just like a straight villain, but like he's a likable villain, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's this woman that's like kind of inadvertently like, or maybe not against her own will, like having to hunt him or fight him. So I don't know. It's interesting. Like I'm sure they're going to expand on the lore in the fourth one.
Yeah.
I think there'll be more answers unless they continue to make a fifth one.
Yeah. Or the fifth and then the sixth and the seventh and the eighth and the ninth. Before you know, Art in space.
Yeah. Art in space.
Art in the hood.
Art in the hood. Yeah, he has not been at the hood yet. I will say
hasn't been at the hood.
He's a lot of suburbanites kills, you know.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I
don't even think Art's been in the city. You know what I mean?
You know, does he take the route of a leprechaun from he goes into space, goes into the hood, or does he take the route of
a Pinhead? Because Pinhead went in space.
Well, does he take the route of a Jason? He goes to the big city.
Manhattan.
Art takes Manhattan. Art goes to like L.A. or Art goes from L.A. to space, and then we have Art battling another clown. Maybe Art versus Killer Clowns, or maybe Art versus
a crossover material.
Yeah, man. A crossover movie.
And it's time for a Killer Clowns remake, so why not? There you go, man.
Art the Clown versus all these space clowns, or maybe instead of versus, they team up, and then they cause havoc. You know, who knows? And then we get Laura Laverne's character come out, and she has to battle all these clowns.
She's got to poke them in the nose and die.
That's true, but I mean, like she doesn't know that yet, though. So I mean, she has to learn that before, like they're attacking a whole city and wrapping up in candy and cotton candy and stuff. You know, what does she do?
Yeah.
And on top of that, at this point, she's kind of like a lone wolf. You know, she's got to go out there.
Well, maybe she's not. Maybe she teams up with somehow. You said Art came from space. Well, maybe they get like a Ripley in there with all these like final girls. Like, yeah.
Again, Terrifier 2, enjoyed it very much. And we were anticipating Terrifier 3 coming out. And again, a lot of the people, there's a few things I've heard from people that say like these movies are mean spirited. The kills are way too much, and I can say that is true for most people. But I personally see Art as just like almost like he's a comedically he's a comedic mass murderer. You know, I see the kills, and yes, they're graphic, and yes, they can be over the top and too much for some people. But I personally enjoy it. Yeah, I just see it as a good time. Yeah, you know. And maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I can see where people there's a boundary where people have, and they wouldn't want to watch these movies. Yeah, and I get it.
But there's an audience for this, and it's not for everyone. It's just like
it's for us.
Yeah,
like, we like this stuff.
I feel like there's enough knowledge about what these movies are about. If you don't want to see it, don't go see it. Don't go see it and then complain about it, or like, you know, I heard about this new one. I'm sure as you did too, Ray, that there was a lot of. Even I talked to my dad about it. It's funny. I was like telling him, oh, did you go see last night? I was like, oh, I see Terrifier 3. He's like, oh, I was like, yeah. I heard there's some controversy like with the kid killing and stuff like that. I was like, we don't really see. Well, I don't know.
We'll get into that in just a minute. Yeah. But yes, this one continues on with the controversy. I was actually reading a little article on Bloody Disgusting. Now the church is involved. There's
really?
there's a church protest
I haven't
now.
done that yet. I need to read some news about
There's
it.
church protest now. I mean, yeah,
but not from the second one. That's interesting.
Well, because the second one didn't have much traction. This is the anticipated one. This one kind of just fell under the radar. I mean, Terrifier 2 fell under the radar, then got mass appeal, you know, and then it was gone, you know.
But probably too because there's a little bit of a Christmas element in there.
And the Christmas element adds a little blasphemy to it. So you got to bring in the church for that, you know. Yeah. You know, you can't have a pagan character being blasphemed upon on Jesus's holiday. Like, you can't do that.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say it's more like Santa though, not really like the Christian Christmas. There's some elements of it.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like that, like there's no elements of like Christianity in there unless you're just like tying the fact that it is Christmas.
Didn't you see that it's a guy's movie about why it's okay to have? What was that dude's name?
Which guy?
I don't know. He's one of those. He makes those Christian movies.
Kevin Sorbo?
No, you're gonna have to edit this.
John Hagee?
Yeah, is he the one who talked about how it's okay to have commercial Christmas because that's what God really wanted?
Oh, that was Kirk Cameron.
Yeah, Kirk Cameron. Yeah, didn't you not watch Kirk Cameron's movie about how commercial Christmas and Santa Claus is? Yeah, Santa Claus is all about Jesus.
Yeah, and I completely disagree with his take on a Christian, a corporate Christian Christmas.
Yeah.
But anyways, one of the reviewers that I do watch, she talked about how basically these headlines and these clickbait things to get you to watch this movie, you know, like, and mind you, as she is a supporter, as we are as well, like I don't like the scariest movie or like people fainting in the movie. That is the draw crowd, right? Yeah. But I mean, to me, it's to draw the wrong crowd of people, you know, and as she spoke about it, she became a headline because in her own theater viewing experience, 2 people did faint, in which she helped.
From
and then
From this one? Or the second one?
No, the third one.
Oh,
no, this time. So she ended up becoming something that she was talking shit about. She talked shit about the headlines. Yeah. She became a headline.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I mean, that is irony in some way.
I want to help somebody that fainted. I want to be the guy that like try to resuscitate someone. Like, it's okay. It's just a movie.
Right, and as they're like, he's like hacking away, he looks up.
Yeah,
I always wondering, like, because I mean, is it people walking out that get kind of like winded in some way? They're coming down the stairs and they see he's like, and then they're just like,
and they roll down the ramp.
The stairs. They have all this popcorn flying everywhere and stuff. I mean,
honestly, man, there's always been stuff like that. Like, I know I don't know if like your mom ever saw The Exorcist, but like I know my mom saw it in theaters, and she talked about how like there was people fainting at that. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's always been movies where it's like, so you know, people are fainting, and there's always been like what do they call like schlock or like gimmick in a movie.
Well, the Substance, people that's kind of happened there too.
But people fainted at The Substance.
I've read little headlines. Again, I don't know how true that is, but they're headlines. And that's what I'm talking about. Like headlines like that can like.
Do you think like you remember how the Smile campaign that everyone like going like around smiling? They just hire a bunch of like anemic people to be at these fucking movies. Don't eat, and you shouldn't go in the theater, and you're gonna faint, right?
Don't drink water. Don't drink anything for the next week.
No iron, nothing like that.
Only have crackers.
Yeah, crackers.
Yeah, they're like completely all dried up inside, and they're just like
all like the palest people you ever seen.
Right, and make sure you sit in the very front row where they're like,
oh my god, this movie's too scary.
They get like in a position like they're just like,
it's all part of a campaign.
But anyways, again, on to Terrifier 3. There's controversy and stuff like that. We went to go see it last night. We got our popcorn, got our icy, and I sat there. And I enjoyed the movie. Yeah. You know, I have a few complaints and nitpicks. You know,
and probably the same ones, honestly.
Right. So, overall, Bryce, like, what do you think as an overall of Terrifier 3?
It's a good installment. I liked it. You know, it's more of what you want with Art the Clown, but I don't know. I just feel like it's hard, and I wondered like how are they gonna top 2, and I feel like they didn't. Honestly, like it's good. You know, it has the gore. I just feel like that scene in 2, like the bed torture scene, like they're not gonna top that. Like that's already like I don't. There's things they could have done, and like I was like just explaining to you, Ray. Like there's things they could have done. I feel like to top it, but I just don't think. And like I know we had discussed this, and maybe at some point there'll be some kind of director's cut. I just don't think there's things they could do and get into theaters to top it.
Right.
And I don't know if you want to talk about that.
We will.
Maybe with spoilers later, but that's just so going in. I was like, oh man, I was like, I heard all these things, and I was like, this is like.
It's normal.
This is a Tuesday. It's like what? I don't know, man. It's just like it was great. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it. I feel like 2 was shot really well too, but I feel like they're just upping like the cinematography a little bit.
Budget now,
yeah, it was just feel like it was filmed better. I don't know. At Lauren Rivera, I love her character. It's just I don't know, man. It was I kind of wanted. It's weird. It's like I was wanting more. You know, it's like. I don't know. That's all I can say about it. It disappointed me a little bit on the shock value, I guess. If you can be shocked by movies nowadays. I mean, I know you and I are probably a little like jaded in a way, like now, but it's like, you go to see a Terrifier movie, you're like, oh shit, what are they gonna do now?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was my big complaint.
I mean, again, to just say that part 2 surprised us because it took it to like that level.
Yeah, true.
And we just recently saw The Substance, and that took it to another level as well. So like we got like those kinds of films in our head already, and we are expecting a lot more limits pushed, more boundaries crossed. Well, and not to say that Terrifier 3 doesn't cross any boundaries. It does.
Oh no.
It can cross some clear boundaries for people in general as far as the kills and just the things that they do to people on screen.
Yeah.
And again, you're I'm not saying like we're any better for it, but as persons that have watched a lot of gory body horror type of stuff, we expected a little bit more boundaries crossed, and again, like you said before, there's probably certain things that they either attempted to do or were going to do, but they couldn't get past like to get an R rating or something like that. And understandably so, because they went pretty far in this, but again, as a person who prefers certain things in his movies, they didn't cross certain boundaries that I wanted them to cross, and we'll get into it in just a minute. But I want to go into too many spoilers right now, but we will in just a moment. So I'll give some pros for this movie. Like pros, I like the kills, right? I liked they expanded on the lore. I liked that it's shorter, a shorter movie, which was kind of an issue. The only issue I had with the second one, that it's a little too long.
Yeah,
right? They could have cut it up a little bit. And let me see. Again, I like everyone's characters. I like the fact that the people return, characters from part 2, and we expand on them a little bit more. Not to jump into like my cons. There's certain kills that I wanted to see on screen that I didn't get.
Yeah. And
2, I felt like some of the story rushed a little bit more, like towards the point. There was a point in the movie where I thought it jumped from like there's a point where she is like kind of trying to calm down from her thinking she saw Art the Clown, and then we just go into him being there, right? And I thought it was a dream because in the second one, there's a lot of dreaming. There's a lot of like. They're trying to like prepare you for like their meetup, but then the meetup just happens in this one, and I feel like it jumped too much.
But it's like we were saying, or are we talking about after the movie? It's I can't guarantee it, but I'm more than certain there's going to be some kind of director's cut, and it's going to be a much longer movie because yes, it did feel like they were splicing together like what they could to keep it intact for the theater,
right?
And so, yes, that whole dream sequence thing you're talking about, it did seem weird. Like, it did seem that it was like, oh, well, I guess this is happening. But it's like, I feel like that was just tacked on. Like, I feel like there's filler somewhere in the movie that they had to cut out. And I don't know. But as much as we're happier that it was shorter, it did leave it a little like unfinished. So it's kind of, I don't know.
I wanted more.
It's kind of like, kind of.
Yeah, because I felt there was a point, the point between the time where she's starting to experience him, like, or she thinks it's him, right, and then to him actually being in her presence.
Yeah,
like there was a point in between all that. I feel like there was a chunk of story that was cut for time, probably, and that is a thing that I have a complaint about. It's shorter, but I feel things were missing because it was shorter.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't get what you want all the time.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess I can have both ways, man.
And considering that we were expecting a lot more controversial things in the movie, there were aspects that I thought they were gonna go to, again, probably on the cutting room floor, probably to keep this kind of R rating. That they, when it comes to young people, I thought they were gonna like really go there.
Yeah.
I was just
from
like,
what I was hearing, I was like, oh well.
And then it kind of just does it like in mass.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh well, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, like in the beginning, they kind of show graphic scene, like you hear it and it's implied, so you kind of know it's happening, and then they show the remains of that, of a kid. And again, would I prefer to see it? Yes. I'm not trying to be like a sicko about it, but like I feel, again, I've explained this in certain regarding the watching Bezel.
Yeah.
I feel like it adds a bit more stakes to the movie, where when that happens, it makes me uncomfortable to see that. But I want to feel some uncomfort because I feel like anything. I just feel like anything goes when that happens, and then I don't know what to expect. You know,
such a nihilist, right? I just want to feel something.
Here's the thing. But look, I do have boundaries when it comes to like pets.
Yeah.
Or if it's too excessive.
Hey, there was some animal cruelty in this movie.
There was, but not enough for me to like get offended by it.
Because of the type of animal it was. Jeez, Ray. Nah, man. I
have feelings for all animals.
At least the way I would. Yes, I know. I don't want to sound like I'm kind of like this like sick bastard or whatever, but when you go to see a movie like this and it's promised that there's like this something you've never, like, I don't want to say never seen before, but like something like, oh, it's something that it's gonna be novel, or like, I don't know how to explain it, like just something of shock value, you know what I mean? So when you go in there and you're like, oh well, I mean, the idea of it, yes, it's like, oh, you know, they did this or this is happening, and they're including, you know, young people of a young age now, but it's like it's like, I don't know, to hear how bad, like, controversial it was like, oh, okay, well, I mean, it's more like implied than seen, but there's a lot of movies that imply, you know, child death in movies, so it's like, you know, it's no worse than some other films, I guess, but yeah, I guess sorry, I meant to go over some of my pros a little bit. I did enjoy the effects. Again, they always do a great job with the practical effects. They always do like a very humorous, like, fun kills, new ways that they bring up those things. So like new kills, which I always appreciate that they come in with some new crazy thing that they do.
Just to piggyback off that, there was a kill that they did in the first one that some people had an issue with, but they kind of did that to the other version, the guy in this one, and I thought that was fun too.
Well, that's interesting because this movie is, these shows, or these not shows, but these movies have kind of always had a controversy in some way, and I just remembered that. I remember number one, the first one was kind of labeled as misogynistic because of the female kills,
but it was only women that he was in this particular movie, so I know there wasn't like other people get killed, but like the female characters don't. They were the ones that had more of a focus and more of a long kills, more tortured and stuff like that. So yeah, I can see that, and that's where like you can see like people wouldn't like that, you know, and I get that, but I feel like as time has gone on, like everyone gets it equally from here on out. Again, there's more people in the movies now, like more actors, bigger budget, more actors and stuff like that, so they can actually explore killing everybody. All right, well, let's give our ratings, and then we'll do spoilers after this, just more pinpointing on things that we liked and disliked about this movie. So I'll go first. Out of 5, Terrifier 3. I give this a solid 4.5 out of 5.
Whoa. All right.
I did enjoy it a lot. Again, I feel like the nitpicky is just me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say like it took me out of the movie, but I'm just like, I felt like a little bit of a spoiled bitch about it, you know.
I guess.
I'm personally again. After the film, I was like, well, I wanted to see this instead, you know. Like, but I got enough. Like, I felt like it was sufficient enough for me. And I don't want this to taint your rating, Bryce. All right,
it's not going to, man.
Okay, please. So give it your rating out of 5.
Well, all right. I will give it a 3.5 out of 5. All right. So I was gonna give it 3, but you did take me. All right. So nah. I get what you're saying, and yeah, it had everything I like, and I don't know, man. I feel like it just didn't top the second one, and it doesn't necessarily have to top the second one. It's just a continuation. I am excited to see 4 because I feel like it's gonna add like this whole new element, which I'm excited to see. So overall, I mean, like I enjoyed it. I just feel like those elements we spoke about to me did bring it down a notch.
But see, like, even though we have kind of like the same complaints about the movie, I feel like it just took it down like a half.
Oh, okay.
A half for me, because like I said, I got everything I wanted. Yeah. But I'm over here like saying like a gluttonous motherfucker. I just want more, you know.
No, I don't think it's like that at all, man.
See, but that's why I feel, because I just feel like if I'm watching this movie, I'm getting everything I want. Yeah. Everything Did you really get everything you wanted, right? Well, I got Terrifier movie. It should be. Yeah. You know, it didn't hold back on a lot of stuff, but I just feel like if I'm not getting a certain element that I wanted, just because I wanted to see it. Even though it happened, I wanted to see it. I didn't see it. Yeah. I'm not going to complain too much about it, because, and also, to be fair, it makes me happy that this movie is getting the attention I feel like it deserves, you know. Yeah. And I feel like a movie like The Substance should be getting this much attention as well. Yeah. And having this much theater exposure. Yeah. You know. And I mean, at this point, I mean, this one and Substance, even though The Substance is a far better film overall, story-wise, acting, you have veterans in the game doing this, and then you have a new director really like putting it all on the line. And same thing with Damien Leone on this one. Like, he's doing it. He's great at effects. Maybe there should be what's the director from Substance?
Oh, I can't remember. It's a French lady, but
I don't like to butcher her name, right? And I posted here, her and Damien Leone getting together, and I'm saying like let's not like rehash the same shit. But I mean, I feel like Damien Leone is a very talented director, writer, but the special effects, like he shines. I mean, they're just top of the line effects that he does, and I will not deny any of the effects and like kills going on in this movie. They're great. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Art the Clown was also very funny in this one as well, and that also kept me at that 4.5 rating. So
he did up the antics a bit, like in terms of the comedy.
I laughed a lot of times watching this movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Again, it's not for everyone, but I feel like if you enjoy like extreme horror in some way, I feel like you'll have fun with this one.
Yeah, I agree. I said I liked it.
I mean, yeah, you have it's a good rating. It's just that we just differentiate in how much we are giving points to what we liked and disliked about it. I'm not penalizing it too much, because again, I feel personally that even though it delivered in what it was supposed to do, I just wanted more. Yeah. And again, it's just extras. Like, someone gave me a nice banana split and just forgot to put the cherry on top.
Oh, okay. Well,
all right. It has all the elements. It has all the elements in there, but like, you didn't give me the garnish, you know. And that's the way I feel. Like, I'm just like, I'm not gonna complain too much about the garnish. You know?
All right, I got you.
That's just me personally speaking. We're going spoilers now, so we're gonna talk about our favorite kills. Go ahead.
So chainsaw with the ass was pretty good. It was nice. The testicle hanging, like he's cutting him up to the fucking middle is pretty good.
You see the fucking penis is kind of like fucking.
Yeah, that was good. I kind of liked the one where he kills the construction worker guy, tears his head off.
Yeah,
that's pretty like not his head, but like splits it down the middle. And then of course there's like what is she supposed to be? I know she's the girl that got her face eaten off by him in the first one, but like what is she supposed to be? Anyways,
I don't know how she like what her function is. I mean, I know like the last thing, which was kind of like shocking to see. We don't really get a complete explanation, but
like
she birthed after Lauren kills. I know that's not her name in the movie, but when Sienna kills. Art the Clown in the second one, she chops his head off, and then for some reason this person who's in a psych ward births the head of Art the Clown, and then they continue that story into this one, and that's to a point where Art the Clown's like eating someone's fucking face, and she's like just eating parts of their body and stuff like that. I don't know who she is necessarily. Like that didn't make any sense to me in the second one. And I still didn't get a bunch of an explanation here, like as to what their relationship is, or like how she is kind of functioning in the realm of the supernatural. Is she just like an assistant, a demon assistant for Art? I don't know. But yes, are you going to talk about the?
She you see her with the
shard of
glass, and she starts like going down on like her body suggestively with it, and of course that ends with some, self-love, I guess you're gonna call it that, which is like I was wild to see that while he's like splitting the guy's head. He's like, ah.
And she's getting off on it. And then of course she's it's a big shard of glass. So like as she's inserting it, there's blood just like spurting out everywhere.
Again, it's like
there's blood squirting.
And then Art, of course he has to do. He's a Caesar, and he's like he does that shit. Like, what the fuck?
But that's why it's so funny, like. Whenever there's here we are, they always got to throw in a podcaster, and they're always assholes. I would always think, because like in Tusk, they did this whole podcast angle, and Justin Long's character is kind of dumb. But there's a true crime podcast girl who gets introduced to Sienna's brother because they're in college or something, and she wants to interview him, but then she wants to interview Sienna. Sienna kind of goes off on her because like she doesn't. Like the fact that she's kind of just like taking joy in her misery. She's
calling her a vulture and stuff.
And then at some point the podcaster girl's boyfriend is talking to her and basically says to her, as Art is listening in, well, you sound like you want to fuck him. And he's making a face and shit. And she's like, no. She's like, no, I don't want to fuck him. And then he's just like, like doing like all these fucking like classic like moves, almost like
Looney Tunes,
like even like the Charlie Chaplin shit.
That's right.
Charlie Chaplin, just think of any sort of
type shit.
Think of any like physical comedy, like even silent comedy from back in the day, and they're just like big hand gestures, like
well, it's like old silent movie clown.
Exactly. But that's
because she tells like, oh, it's like he's probably the most prolific serial killer since Jack the Ripper. He's like, it's like
oh, stop. But yeah, like all those things are just funny, but it just goes to show you like all those classic types of like movies kind of still hold up in this kind of space. When they kind of like pay tribute to that. Which is not something you would think to find in a movie like this.
No.
But so yeah, I agree with you. The kills, the up the ass, down the middle.
One more is
chainsaw.
Probably, I mean, I did enjoy.
I would say like after that kill with the guy's girlfriend, after he gets it up the butt. Well, this was before he like starts swinging on the girl and like just like starts slicing her tits with a chainsaw. Like she's just all cut up to shit. And like
jaws hanging off.
And then he puts on those glasses on her and goes like fucking nose who like this like almost like off and stuff. I was like, God.
Well, because she wanted it. She says when she's talking to her boyfriend, I was like, well, I want to know. It's like, what is it like to look into his eyes and see if there's any soul? So he takes the glass, looks in her eyes, and he like puts it on her and he does a beep. And then of course, like they did introduce an interesting like liquid nitrogen thing, or he has like like the clowns have those like things like squirt water on people, but he's doing nitrogen. Yeah. So like Santa Claus kill with that was kind of interesting, I guess. I like that.
It's very
too.
very Demolition Man.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, true.
Yeah, it's very Demolition Man kills. You know.
He puts the carrot in his face. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes over the top, and he just sprays people and then like knocks them with a hammer. Yeah. Their body parts just shatter, and then he does it on the guy's face, smashes it, and his face is all fucked up. Gets the fucking nose and yeah, that was great. Clint Howard shows up.
Oh yeah.
In a very small cameo, which is funny because I think you like looking at me, you were like, isn't that? And I was just like, Howard.
Yeah.
Howard.
Yeah.
It was loud, but I was just like, it's Howard. But yeah, Clint Howard shows up.
It's the ice cream man.
Yeah.
I'm the ice cream man. Stop it when I'm passing by.
Then we had a cameo from Tom Savini.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising. I was like, oh, Tom Savini. You said there was another person that at the end when the credits.
The guy that plays Sienna's dad. I was like, this guy looks familiar.
Henry Rollins.
It was Jason. It said it was Jason Patrick, the guy from the Lost Boys.
Oh wow!
Even the main guy from Solar Babies.
I didn't recognize him.
Well, he's older now. But I like his facial features kind of look the same. Yeah. But I was just like, he just looks older.
Yeah.
And I was like, he just looks familiar. And then I saw like in the credits, now is there another person named Jason Patrick who kind of looks like that guy? Who knows? But like I was just like, oh, that does look like Jason Patrick. Yeah. It says that it was. If it's not him and it's just another guy with the same name and kind of has the same facial features, that's crazy. But it is what it is. But anyways, what else? I'll talk about the things that I didn't like just to get this out of the way. There were 2 kills that happened off screen.
Oh, well, yeah.
And again, we are talking spoilers, so like this is on you. Sienna's brother dies, right? We just see his like mangled skull head being eaten by rats.
Yeah, it looks like when they do barbacoa and they they're like they have that, like the head you see like where they do goat and they like carve the face. And that's what his face looked like.
So the issue I had with that, and I have a thing that maybe it wasn't him.
Yeah.
I think maybe he might show up in the 4th one. Like it really wasn't, you know what I mean? Because like it happened off screen.
That skull looked a lot like his.
There you go, like facial, like structurally, the bones did like resemble his face.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, because since we didn't see it, we don't necessarily know what happened, and like it's not that Art the Clown and his accomplice are like the most trustworthy people.
Yeah. Well,
so like they said it's him, but it's also implied whenever the uncle goes to pick him up and they have that little staticky on the phone, you're like, oh, well, something's gonna happen. I thought it was gonna happen to the uncle. I didn't know it was gonna happen to the brother.
Yeah.
According to what happened, because at least I thought it was a dream sequence. We see someone like crossed up on the wall.
Yeah.
And with his guts out.
Yeah.
And apparently it's the uncle, but again, we don't see any of these kills.
Yeah.
Now, I was a little disappointed. This is my disappointment. I was disappointed that I didn't get to see these kills because the brother should have been someone that you see on screen getting killed. Because
one would argue, I don't think so. Yeah.
Because I mean, he's a main character. You would think he would have a better end.
Maybe it's one of those things we talked about that they had to cut out for the theater,
right.
Like I had posited, which I don't know, but maybe the actor was like, you know what, like maybe like, hey, we're not gonna bring you back for the 4th one. He's like, well, fine, if I'm gonna get killed, I don't want to be, it's like I want in my contract that you don't see me dying, or I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's possible. It's possible.
I don't know. Or you know what, like you said, I didn't even think about it. Maybe it really wasn't him.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. I was just thinking about this right now as I was about to talk about it. Because if that's going to be an issue for me, that could have
been the podcaster's boyfriend.
That's true.
Because they mangled him. They had a chainsaw there.
Yeah, that's true. But so yeah, I didn't see that on screen, and I was a little disappointed.
But also strange that they didn't show the uncle dying.
So but that's what I'm saying is that like I don't know, like maybe they survived and we don't even know. You know?
Oh wow.
We don't even know. But to be fair, like the brother, it was in this space of Art the Clown because he was killing his roommate and the girlfriend. But kill, you know.
Yeah.
Another thing that we felt that it didn't go far enough, like whenever he's playing the Santa, where I was like, man, he's gonna like destroy all these kids right in front of his parents' faces. And that's what it implies, you know, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's one of the things that kind of hyped me up for the movie was I saw that scene in a trailer, like where like, he's coming out and like he's handing, like they don't even show like him handing the presents or anything like that. They just like, oh, I was like, oh man, I was like, I saw that, I was like, this is, I was like, when I go see this movie, this is gonna be a fucked up scene. And it's just like, and so I was a little let down. Like, I was like, oh well, I mean, the way they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a Die Hard movie or something.
Yeah,
It's like this explosion. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, that scene out, and the thing is, I saw it coming a mile away. Whenever he's like handing out the toys, and one kid's gonna open a box, I was like, "Is this gonna be some kind of like Looney Tunes shit?" Like,
dude, I was expecting something.
I thought he was gonna like, it's gonna explode, and you can see the kid
yeah.
like just the hair, and he's like, "Ooh," and then Arthur Clown's like,
yeah,
like, runs away. I thought it was gonna be like a Looney Tunes bit, or like Jingle All the Way, you know, whenever they open the thing and like the thing explodes.
Yeah,
this is a sick world we live in. Sick.
Yeah, that's true. It's more of a Jingle All the Way type. Maybe it was a Jingle All the Way reference. But yeah, I was expecting like something like a fucking bear trap or some crazy shit. Like I don't know, man. Who knows? But
yeah. I mean, I did like they expanded on the lore of. I don't know. I'm still kind of confused on like who her father is, because he seems like he transferred some power over to Sienna whenever he created the drawing. Yeah, so like, did he create this character, but he has the power to make these a reality, like in some way? Because there was a transference there, because he's hiding it to her and he's just like, like, I don't know. But maybe all that'll be answered in part 4. Coming to you soon to a theater near you.
Yeah, then we see the Virgin Mary and the demon. That was the demons forging the sword. It's like,
yeah, but the Virgin Mary, like, you know, like those holiday things that they
like the plastic light ones, or
you know, like when they move them and kind of just does this thing. Like, that's what it looked like to me. But I mean, it's somewhat blasphemous. Maybe that's why the protesters are out there. That church heard that the Virgin Mary was having a starring role in fucking Terrifier 3, where she's like standing behind some kind of like demon or thing that's like forging the fucking sword, and she's just standing there like trying to be all cool and shit. Overseeing the forging of the sword so she can bless it.
Yeah,
and on top of that, they did a whole crown of thorns thing too. That's very Jesus-y. You know?
Yeah.
You know, when they put it on her and she's just
I know. But that's weird though, because that would be more of an Easter thing.
Oh, because of the it's still Christian imagery, though.
I guess so.
It's still the imagery of Christ.
I got you. But I think more of Easter when I think of crown of thorns and crucifixion and all that. This is when he was born.
I mean, what are they gonna do? Like, bring out the fucking manger and like Art the Clown?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Grab a baby, and fucking.
Well, honestly, man, they could have done some kind of manger scene. It would have been like, they could have done something.
That would have probably pissed a lot of people off. Well, it would have been hilarious.
They want to go overboard.
But it probably would have pissed people. Yeah, they want to go crazy with it. Any other things? I mean, there's not much. I mean, like I said, we want to like ruin all the kills for you. Like, it's a fun movie. There's a lot of fun kills. Certain things I wanted to see, I didn't get to see necessarily, but it's just me complaining about. I mean, I it delivered on everything it's supposed to do.
The scene where they put the tube and the rat down throat, I thought it was interesting.
That
but
was kind of cool. Yeah.
It was cool, but I feel like they could have done more with it. It's just like they just like get stuck in the throat, and I thought they were like gnaw like their way out and do all that, and just kind of like let it. It's like, well, what was the point of that? You just let them in there and you just like let them out. It's like just. I don't know.
But but that's what I'm saying is like in part 2 they went further. Even when they killed Sienna's mom, you know, that was fucking brutal. Yeah. Then they killed her friend. That was fucking brutal. Like those scenes I remember those because of how fucking brutal they were. And these, I felt like they were just quick.
Yeah, they were quicker kills. Maybe that's what it was.
They were just quicker kills. Again, maybe there's a director's cut where these things are. They're expanded, they're a little longer, and we get more gratuitous, obscene violence.
Oh man, we'll see, dude.
I mean, is there something to say for folks like us, like we just want to see more gratuitous violence? It's torture porn, really, right? It's torture corn.
Torture corn, yeah.
It's torture corn.
I don't know. Is it though? I mean, if it is, there sure is a hell of a lot of people that enjoy it. That theater didn't. I don't know about you, but I had a motherfucker I didn't know sitting next to me, so that's always a good sign. We got strangers that are like, it's like packing up. You gotta. I mean, granted, it wasn't like the biggest theater, but I mean,
yeah. And then afterwards, and it turns to us like all like, Is there like an instinct here?
They probably saw. They're like, these freaks look like they've seen this before. Already.
These look like a bunch of losers. Yeah. Did you research ahead, guys, and see if there was like an end credit scene?
Yeah, or just like no.
Well, before we end off on this, real quick, I want to rank the Terrifier movies, and we'll throw in All Hallows Eve on there as well, because I feel like it kind of fits into the lore here.
Okay.
So let me see. There's All Hallows Eve. There's Terrifier 2, and then 3. So there's 4 movies, right? What would you pick as your number 4?
Number 4, ooh, probably All Hallows Eve for me. Okay. Yeah, that would be number 4.
I will say for me, number 4, All Hallows Eve. Sure.
Yeah.
Third one.
Terrifier 3 is gonna be my third one. Yeah.
Terrifier 3 is
this one's probably my third one. Yeah. Well. Ooh, I don't know. See, I haven't seen 1 in a while, but I do remember it. But damn, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go Terrifier 3 as number 3.
Okay, for me, I'll go Terrifier 1.
Yeah.
Only
I was kind of like
only because I feel like it doesn't like do too much in the story realm. Great kills, right? But so I mean, at this point,
I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to. Yeah. So I'd say that. Yeah, Terrifier 1 is probably gonna be my number 3.
Number
and then 2 will be Terrifier 3, and then my number 1 is gonna be Terrifier 2.
Okay, so like
yeah, I thinking about it now. Yeah, you're right, because it doesn't really. But yes,
I'll say number 2 is Terrifier 3, and then number 1 is Terrifier 2.
Yeah, I mean it's
how like confusing it is the way we just described that, but yeah, sure.
Well, that's the only way I can. That's the only like to me. That's the only feasible way to rank them. Like, I don't know. I mean, some people may enjoy the other ones more, but yeah.
Yeah, Terrifier 2 like is just tops right now.
Yeah.
But all enjoyable.
Oh yeah,
great franchise. I'm enjoying it thus far.
Even though this one wasn't my highest ranked one, it was not a miss. There hasn't been a miss in the series yet. So
So congratulations to Damien Leone and all the folks that have created these Terrifier films. Like it's
maybe you'll get an Emmy this year.
Great special effects, maybe. Right?
Yeah.
Like these
Art the Clown, best lead actor.
These fucking prudes and these awards like can't acknowledge special effects, and I mean whoever did Substance as well. Like those people should get like nominated for something as well.
It would be funny though to see Art the Clown get the I mean not Art the Clown, but the actor who plays Art the Clown obviously show up as Art the Clown at the Emmys, and he's like,
yeah, that would be great. Yeah, it'd be so fun. But yeah, that's it for us. I mean, I enjoyed Terrifier 3. Not the best in the franchise, but also, again, I can't really say that any of them are the worst because I enjoy all of them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to like. It's just like very like little nitpicky things that we have.
Got me excited for 4. Like
yeah, I'm ready for 4 too.
See how they're gonna do that.
Bring it out.
Yeah.
Bring it out. Oh. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to wait like another 2 years for that too.
Probably so, yeah.
But it's greenlit, right? It's greenlit.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna happen. And as far as I'm read right now, this is the Friday night. Should be taking home the number 1 spot this weekend.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Who are they up against though as far as other movies right now?
I don't know, but it's just being compared to the Joker.
That's
funny.
Yes.
Adieu, and that's getting some
hilarious
shit reviews. Yeah. I haven't seen it yet. I will see it. But I feel like I've been tainted already, so I don't know if I can give a legit review because I've heard other people talk about it and everyone with various opinions. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So at least one clown has reigned supreme over this weekend, this holiday season. Wow. And again, thank you for our guests here. Do you have names for them?
No. I can give them names. You want to name them?
Yeah, name them. Go ahead.
No, you name them.
I'm going to have shit names.
I don't care. It's fine. I don't have to keep them. You just name them.
Yeah. No, I can't do it.
All right. Well,
I'd rather have the creator make names.
Put the names down in the comments.
Yeah. Gas Masky and this other guy.
There you go.
All right, we'll see you next time. Go ahead and rate and review and all that kind of stuff. Like the video, turn on notifications, comment below what did you think of Terrifier 3, and then we'll see you later.
Are these masks freaking you out though?
No, they're not actually.
No? You want to try one on?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. I would thank Bryce for our set pieces here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to get Ray to put a mask on, but he won't.
I won't do it.
All right.
I'm not scared.
This is a good exposure. Look how close they are to you, man.
They are, but they're behind me, so like they're not this close, you know.
All right.
Now, if I have to like stare at it for a while, like the wheels are gonna turn in my brain. Is it like it's the rubber? Yeah.
It's not.
Like,
that's the kind you like, or what?
It's not the kind I like. I don't.
Oh.
But,
yeah, it's not. Yeah.
But yeah,
These are Walmart masks, dude. These are
yeah. These are great though. I enjoy the set pieces. I just can't do this, so I'd have to like maybe ask you to make me shit like this, you know.
Oh, all right.
But anyways.